Today, we're not just exploring a concept. We are stepping into a dark, cautionary fable, one written for the spiritual traveler. This is the anatomy of the hollow sun, a dire warning disguised as a journey. So let's begin the descent.
This quote, it really sets the stage perfectly. This isn't about finding some kind of easy comfort or peace. No, it's about accepting a terrifying, groundless new reality. And that, right there, is our destination.
So how does a journey like this even begin? Well, the first stage is all about descent. We're heading down deep into what the text calls the sunken cathedral, the most hidden, forgotten part of the psyche.
The only way forward, believe it or not, is down, into the cold, damp basement of the soul, a place where the sky is gone, replaced by this strange, unhomely radiance. It's right here that the real transformation starts.
And in this subterranean space, you meet the hollow sun. Now, forget everything you think you know about the sun. This isn't a source of warmth or life. Think of it more like a cold, psychic scalpel. Its only job is to cut away the layers of illusion you've wrapped around yourself.
And this brings us to the first, let's call it an agonizing trial, the flaying of the ego. It starts with that descent into the cathedral, where you have to face its unsettling light. And then, the surgical peeling begins, stripping away the protective skin of your fabricated self. This whole ordeal is designed for one thing, to lay bare every single repressed desire, every truth you've been hiding from yourself.
Once your defenses are completely stripped away, you're not alone anymore. A critical figure shows up, an entity that's born from the very shadows that the hollow sun has cast.
And here's the truly unsettling part. This long-awaited interrogator, this so-called honest guest, is you. Or, well, it's a stranger who's wearing your face.
This figure has a name, the uncanny double. Its entire purpose is to show you just how fragile your sense of self, your I, really is. It embodies what our source calls the death drive, that deep, primal impulse pulling you away from the chaos of life and toward a cold, inorganic stillness. And right here, the core conflict is just laid bare. On one side, you've got your fragile I, right? The one that's built on all these comforting stories, these virtues you think you have, this fortress of logic. But on the other side, the honest guest crashes in with absolute reality, bringing back everything you've pushed down and that powerful pull toward stillness. This is the civil war of the psyche.
So you've confronted your double. Now the next trial is waiting for you at an unholy altar. This stage is a ritual of consumption. It's about accepting the monstrous parts of yourself that you once tried to throw away.
And this is the central challenge, isn't it? That part of your mind that's always judging, the superego, it labeled your deepest, rawest impulses as toxic waste. So the question is posed directly to you. Are you willing to consume them?
They call this the inverted Eucharist. You are commanded to take in this bitter bread of the id, all that raw, monstrous energy you once threw out. This is a kind of dark nourishment, drawn from your own suppressed truth, no matter how bitter it might taste.
And the consequence of this communion is absolute. The shadow, which used to just follow you around, is now fully integrated. It's not some separate thing to be fought anymore. It's a permanent, internal companion. You've finally acknowledged that it's a part of your soul. This unholy communion has a violent, immediate effect. It triggers the complete and total dissolution of the idealized self-image you once cherished. This really illustrates the total collapse. The great mirror of your ideal self just shatters into 1,000 jagged pieces, and those fragments are lit up by the cold light of a higher authority, the symbolic dead father, which finally silences your inner critic. And in that moment, you see your idealized self for what it always was, just a costume. All that's left is this haunting kaleidoscope of repressed memories.
So with the old self completely shattered, the journey goes deeper. Not into the mind this time, but into the body. Into a labyrinth where instinct, not logic, sets a new rhythm for your entire being. Inside this labyrinth, you learn to say what the text calls the sacred yes. It's this profound surrender, a total acceptance of your body's wisdom, of the raw, pulsing reality of your gut. It's about finally trusting your instincts over the fractured logic of your mind. And here it is. The great paradox of this whole journey? Real peace isn't found by striving for the light or by fighting the darkness.
It's found by fully embodying that darkness. The peace your ego was so desperately chasing was always impossible. But this peace, the one found in surrender, is absolute.
And finally, we get to the end of this fable. The traveler emerges, but they're not healed, they're purified, not in the way you might think. They are transformed into something new, something terrifyingly whole. The internal war is over. And why? Because the enemy wasn't defeated. The enemy was welcomed home. The traumas, the darkness, all the repressed parts of you. They're no longer seen as external threats you have to beat. They're just integrated parts of who you are.
And this slide shows that final, fundamental shift in power. The saint you thought you were, that idealized self sustained by virtue, is revealed to have been just a temporary occupant. The beast you were so afraid of is now understood to be the rightful host. The rot has been integrated. The threat has become a permanent companion.
And so, this cautionary fable leaves us with one final, haunting question. If the self you knew was just a temporary guest, and the beast you feared is now the true master of the house, then who or what are you?